25th Sunday in ordinary time of the year, September 22nd, 2024. Our readings set two ways of life before us, one of the world's and divine ways. In the first reading, the Book of Wisdom discusses the worldly aspect. It warns against misguided passion and blind ambition that could lead to a bigger problem and destructive way of life. People boasted about their evil plot and how to loot and destroy. It says, let us see whether his words are true. Let us find out what will happen to him. For if the just one is the Son of God, God will defend him and deliver him from the hand of his foes. On the other hand, James reminds us that more things unite us than the evil human plots that separate us, as he explores the divine side of wisdom. And he says, but the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, compliant, full of mercy and good fruits, without constancy or insincerity. In the Gospel, Jesus is back on the road, visiting places to spread the good news. The Gospel passage is part of Jesus' teachings on discipleship and what it means to be his disciple. Jesus taught on what it means to be of service to one another. He speaks of the virtues of humility instead of greed, selfishness, envy, or jealousy, and a false passion that leads to a destructive way of life. It comes after Jesus' experience at the Mount Tabor, where he was transfigured, his face shone, and his clothes became dazzling white, like snow. While on his way to Galilee, Jesus continued to instruct his disciples. He taught about his suffering, death, and resurrection, but it was obvious that the concept did not register with them. The disciples were busy entertaining themselves on a different note. They thought among themselves who would become the greatest. However, Jesus speaks about his humanity as the Son of Man and what will become of him. The image of the Son of Man often comes to us in two ways in the Scriptures. The prophet Ezekiel speaks of the Son of Man as a mortal being, while the prophet Daniel has a different connotation to it. He depicts the Son of Man as a glorified one. This speaks to us about Jesus' two natures, human and divine. So Jesus' description of the Son of Man is in line with Ezekiel at this very moment in Mark's Gospel. It was in terms of his human nature. That after Peter proclaimed Jesus the Son of God and expected Messiah last Sunday, it was on his divine nature. Now Jesus used the opportunity to give insight into the nature of his mission, how he intends to go about it and bring salvation to all. The apostles didn't catch where Jesus was going with it. It was not how they envisioned his glory. Their thoughts were more in line with the rest of society, and they explored who would become the greatest, supposedly, if everything were to be theirs and in their hands. It became a teaching moment for Jesus. So as St. James stated, it is about might and power for those who think in the ways of the world. The ways of the world are the winner takes it all mentality. It is about passion, desire, and competition to acquire. Some will undoubtedly get more than they will ever use in a lifetime, while some will never have enough to get by. In a situation like this, it creates conflict among people. Slowly and methodically, Jesus will teach his disciples and bring them up to speed to where he wants them to be with his mission. The whole idea of discipleship is still a novelty to them. They have yet to grasp what it means entirely. But they will soon catch up with it. Jesus taught them about his suffering, death, and resurrection, which they realized afterward. Jesus picks up a child, the weak among us, and sets them as an example for us for illustration purposes. A child depends on his parents for their support, livelihood, and survival, like Jesus, who also trusted and relied on the will of the Father. As an itinerant preacher, this call for simplicity of life, a life of austerity and trust in God. It is different from the ambitious and dominant nature of the world. Undoubtedly, it is a new reality to the apostles whose gears turn and churn about what it all entails as disciples of Christ. Our call to discipleship is not one where we make superstars of ourselves, but one where we imitate servant leadership as one who serves among others, the servant of the servants. This is in the heart of what Jesus teaches in today's gospel. Besides, the underlying point here is that Jesus is the suffering servant, the one who came to serve and not to be served. Jesus was the one to whom the adversaries were making a mockery, waiting for his fall and for his God to save him, as wisdom tells us. Let's see whether his words are true. Let us find out what will happen to him, for if the just one is the Son of God, God will defend him. There is no point in looking for the downfall of anyone. Instead, one should seek what will build us all up. It is a way to remind us that our work is about service, trust, and love, even amid adversity. As disciples, the glory of God shines more through us in serving one another and in our witness to the holiness of life. Through our service, we witness God, who came to serve and not to be served. Also, like the children that witness God through the eyes of their parents and teachers, God wants us to see Him the way He is and follow Him with trust and love. No matter our fields in life, He manifests Himself to us. Father Santos K. Ibe. Happy Sunday. Have a beautiful day.